What would happen if everyone in the world suddenly became stuck in Minecraft? All 7.8 billion people in one server. What types of societies would develop? Would war just become massive PvP battles? Or would societies somehow become more equal? Just imagine what the chat would be like. To answer these questions, we're going to be applying different sociology theories to come up with the most likely scenario of a Minecraft dystopia. Now for this experiment, we're going to assume two things. One, everyone is in hardcore mode. Once you die, you won't respawn. Two, the map is not infinite, just like the Earth. So what happens in the beginning? Well, when 7.8 billion people spawn in at once, you can bet there will be a stampede for resources. The psychology of the California gold rush tells us that the last time people discovered valuable resources in a new land, there was a lot of fighting. It will be absolute chaos as everyone is pressured to gather resources in order to not fall behind. Entire villages will be looted, and many will die trying to take out woodland mansions, desert temples, and mine shafts. Veteran players will have an inherent advantage when it comes to knowledge of Minecraft systems, so they'll have a huge head start and be able to quickly monopolize resources in the surrounding areas. Unfortunately for some others, they'll get really unlucky and spawn right in the middle of the ocean or desert and be forced to battle others for scarce resources. But soon, the first night will set in for everyone. Next, the goal is survival. If you've watched the AI video, you'll know that in hardcore Minecraft, the two main things you need to survive is food and shelter. Because there's the constant looming threat of creepers, zombies, and other deadly mobs at night, people from their respective nations would actually start to team up to fight mobs together in order to maximize their chances of survival. To do this, psychology says we'll probably try to find others that speak the same language as us so we can communicate and defend each other effectively. Before long, large underground societies would arise as people realized that they can take shelter in mines and mountains across the world. It will serve as both their source of crucial ores and protection from the outside world. But this refuge won't last forever, since players will still need to venture out to collect food to survive. Most of the peaceful mobs will be killed during the initial spawning, so people will attempt to create a more sustainable form of living. And thus, societies will shift to become more agrarian and develop crop farming as their main source of food. Seeds and saplings can easily be planted to obtain more seeds and saplings, making it the perfect self-sustaining ecosystem. To increase safety, new monster traps will be installed outside of homes to defend against specific mobs like spiders, endermen, and zombies. As food becomes more secure, communities will see distinct roles begin to form, also known as specialization. The most likely scenario is a three-way relationship between miners, hunters, and farmers. The miners provide the tools, weapons, and armor needed for hunters and farmers to do their jobs. The hunters will provide safety by killing mobs and delivering resources like bone meal to farmers so they can increase their crop yields. And the farmers will in turn provide the food for the protectors and the miners. But not everyone will choose to make their living through peaceful means. Groups of people who decide that stealing is a more efficient way to gather resources will form the first raiding groups and travel across the world, burning different towns to the ground. This will cause communities to have to react by training their own armed guards to keep watch during the day and nighttime. A community's survival will depend on Darwin's theory of natural selection. It's survival of the fittest at this point. During all this chaos, it's entirely possible that advanced civilizations will form where hardened Minecraft veterans team up and become completely stacked on resources due to their ability to use advanced mining techniques that no one else knows about, like strip mining and TNT mining. Also, the best PvPers would be representing these societies, so they'll be unbeatable in melee and ranged combat, even if they are far outnumbered. Imagine the shock on raiders when they accidentally mess with the wrong people and see an army just speed bridging towards them at the speed of light. These veteran societies would probably have enough firepower to take on entire countries. They would undoubtedly have a big influence on neighboring factions and could grow their own community by offering protection to others. Once societies become larger, it will no longer be viable for raiders to continue their nomadic lifestyle, so they'll have to abide by the principle, if you can't beat them, then join them. But because of their past, many communities will probably reject them, so they'll have to figure out a new way of living. But with all the land already taken, where will they go? One answer: the sky. Raiders will change their way of living by constructing massive untouchable sky bases where they can freely launch raids and use water to return to base, creating a new generation of sky raiders that strikes fear into the hearts of their enemies from above. Historically, some of the biggest conflicts mankind has seen have been started by differences in ideology. It's inherent to human nature to be self-interested and seek expansion. And Minecraft is no different. Land is crucial for diamonds and farming, so the more land you have, the more resources and power you have. We'll see massive sieges between different nations for control of land with TNT cannons, armies, and even air power through the use of redstone contraptions. The rise of redstone will also create more advanced weapons that intensify these nation-to-nation conflicts. A super society of veterans would be able to take advantage of this the most, as redstone experts like Mumbo Jumbo and SethBling would be unstoppable pioneers in this industry, spearheading innovation and putting themselves in a favorable position in negotiations. Anyone who refuses their demands could literally be wiped off the map. And since ores don't respawn, resources will become more and more limited, leading to the rise of inequality. This will create the potential for revolution and resource wars between nations with different economic ideologies. These wars will be far more dangerous because of the Redstone Boom introducing new weapons of mass destruction that would absolutely raze towns and villages. In order to escape these conflicts, pacifist groups would flee to the ocean and build self-sustaining underwater societies that are impenetrable to TNT cannons. Even in the face of danger, curiosity is also innate to our human nature, so there will be an inherent drive for some to explore the unknown. For those who are really adventurous, you might be trying to speedrun the game and defeat the Ender Dragon so you can flex on everyone with a dragon egg when you get back. Some Minecraft billionaire would probably pay a fortune for it. When nations start realizing that global conflict is not the solution to world peace, they might create an organization similar to the United Nations and enact global initiatives like lighting up the entire world to end the mob threat once and for all, or a coalition to take out the Sky Raiders. Of course, this is assuming that advanced civilizations of veterans hadn't consolidated all the power already. This is where it gets even more interesting. Once this initial survival phase passes, more time will be available to focus on the quality of life, similar to the second industrial revolution in the United States. Social services like ender chests and banks would become widespread since it's the safest way to store valuables. Hospitals will be created with only splash potions of healing and milk instead of medicine. People will start going to schools that teach them how to survive in mines, craft things, make potions, and other basic systems in Minecraft. Amidst this industrial age, there'll be even greater technological revolution: the Redstone Boom. In this era, redstone engineers will innovate like never before, designing game changers like street lamp systems and railroads, leading to a new era of interconnectedness that will lead to trade deals and other economic relationships forming between different factions. Natural resources like gold, diamond, and iron will become standard currency and be considered valuable just like in the real world. But other things like obsidian will also be considered to be extremely precious since it's immune to TNT and hard to break, making it the ideal building material. However, this increase in trade could also be a double-edged sword, as railroads become a point of interest for Sky Raiders to camp by and rob traders as they're passing through. Traders will then have to be accompanied by their own community's forces in order to travel safely and have a better chance at making a successful deal. Inside of each society, economies will be ignited by entrepreneurship, as ambitious players create businesses that sell their specialization, like gear with miners and food with farmers. Some might even embark on dangerous nether expeditions to establish a business selling exclusive resources from the nether. The first person to successfully do so will have a straight up monopoly on things like invisibility potions, netherrack, and strength potions, which could actually shift the result of entire wars. For context, strength 2 potions can increase your damage by over 260%. With an entire army with that status effect, you'll be unstoppable. Also, with invisibility potions, you can literally sneak behind enemy lines and plan ambushes. But in the beginning, these invisibility potions specifically would pose a unique threat to towns since they can be used for theft or even assassinations, so they might be straight up banned in many places. This could open up the possibility of a black market that gets started where people will buy invisibility potions for their own use from underground sellers. Societies will continue to develop with new innovations, and soon, a couple societies will rise to the top. These will most likely be the Nether Expedition Societies, Redstone Engineers, and the Adept Veteran Civilization. Each nation has a unique advantage against the other, with Nether Expedition Societies having the power of potions, Redstone Engineers with redstone contraptions, and Veterans with a little bit of everything. This will most likely become a three-way alliance known as the NRA, standing for Nobody Really Asked.